Alright, in this video we're going to look at how we can write a linear equation from a table. So let's take a look at this table real quick. Notice we have x values 0, 1, and 2, and we have y values 6, 9, and 12. And there's a couple different ways that you can do this, but the easiest way is to go ahead and use your calculator and use the stat function. So I'm going to show you real quick how we do that. So first of all, you want to get your calculator, and I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to write step 1. Click stats. So I should say stat. So I'm going to box it. We're going to click the stat button on our calculator. So let me move it over here, and we're going to go through step by step so you can see each thing that I do to do this. Okay, now the stat button is right here. It's STAT. It's right here by your direction pad. And if you click it, it's going to take you to these three options: edit, calculate, and test. So you want to hit enter on edit for option 1. And I'm going to go ahead and use my delete button to delete things that I already had in here. And so now what I want to do is I want to enter exactly what I have in the table over here. So for instance, my x values are 0, 1, and 2. So I'm going to put in a 0, 1, and 2. And then my next one is 6, 9, and 12. So I'll put in 6, 9, and 12. Now once I put in all my entries, I'm going to go ahead and click stat again. So let me go over here. I'm going to write step 2. Enter values in table. And in step 3, we want to go ahead and click stat again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click my stat button one more time. Again, that's this button right here that says STAT. And once I click stat, I want you to notice it comes back to that menu again. Now, we already put in our numbers from our table, so I'm going to click to the right one time and go to calc, C-A-L-C. So step 4. We're going to then go to calc. And after we go to calc, we're going to go down to option 4 for linear regression AX plus B. Now I'm going to hit enter, and you just keep hitting enter until it gives you this equation. And notice this says y equals ax plus b, where a is 3 and b is 6. And that's actually giving me my equation. So I'm going to move this down just a little bit so we can write it down. I'm going to put the enter button underneath this, and you can write yourself some notes if you're having to do some problems like this. And so what I end up with is y is equal to ax plus b, where a is my slope, and that number, if we look at my calculator, a was 3, so I'm going to put a 3 right there, and then I'm going to write my x, and then my b value was positive 6. So notice it says b is equal to positive 6. So for my b, I'm going to put plus 6. And that b value was my y-intercept. That's all there is to it. We now have an equation for that table in slope-intercept form. Now, sometimes they're going to ask you, not only they're going to give you a table, and they may not ask you to give the answer in slope-intercept form. Sometimes they may ask you to give it in standard form. So I'm going to write right here, slope-intercept form. That's the way the calculator gives it. But if you're asked to go ahead and give it in standard form, let me show you what you would do. I'm going to put if standard form is needed, we got to convert it. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I got y equals negative, or actually let me rephrase that, 3x plus 6. And if I want to turn it to standard form, all I got to do is just simply take this 3x and move it over to the other side for this problem. Now some are going to require a more complex procedure, but in this one right here, that's all we would have to do. So minus 3x over here. And we end up with, because we can't combine an x and a y, so we end up in our final answer with negative 3x plus y equals positive 6. Because all we did was subtract the 3x to move it over to the left. We could do this because our coefficient of y is 1, and that's exactly what we wanted it to be. So this is standard form, and this up here is our slope-intercept form.